People say Michael Corleone became a monster, but monsters don't think the way Michael thought. Michael believed he was the only sane man left in a world of chaos, and that belief is what made him dangerous. The wedding promise, the lie he didn't know he was telling, that's my family, Kay. It's not me. Michael believes this because he thinks evil is loud, emotional, reckless. He is none of those things. Inside his mind, I am calm. I am rational. I am different. This is the first step toward becoming something worse than his father, a man who can do terrible things without feeling terrible. The hospital, the first quiet realization. When he moves his father's bed and stands in the hallway alone, Michael feels something new, not fear, clarity. They are sloppy, emotional, predictable. I am not, and a thought forms that never leaves him. I can run this family better than they ever could, not with rage, with precision. After the murders, how Michael justifies it, he doesn't replay the gunshots in his head. He replays the logic. They would have killed my father. They forced my hand. This was necessary. Necessary. This word becomes Michael's moral compass. If it's necessary, it's acceptable. Taking control. Why Michael starts isolating himself. When Vito dies, Michael doesn't step into power with pride. He steps into it with suspicion. Inside his mind, everyone is a potential problem. Trust becomes a liability. Distance becomes safety. He stops being a brother, a husband, a son, and becomes a position. The Don K. Why lying feels easier than explaining. K asks questions Michael cannot allow. Because explaining requires vulnerability, and vulnerability is how empires fall. So Michael lies calmly, not to hurt her, but because in his mind, she lives in a world too small to understand mine. Fredo. The thought that seals his fate, Fredo proves something Michael cannot forgive. That love does not guarantee loyalty, and inside Michael's mind, a cold equation forms. If I forgive this, others will see weakness. If others see weakness, they will move against me. So Fredo's fate is decided long before the kiss. Not out of anger, out of math. Havana. When Michael realizes he trusts no one, watching the revolution unfold, Michael sees the truth. Power shifts. Allies disappear. Promises mean nothing. And he thinks the only thing permanent is control. So he tightens his grip on everything and loses his grip on everyone. The kiss of death. No emotion left. When Michael kisses Fredo, there is no rage in him, only completion, a task being finished. This is who Michael has become, a man who treats family like loose ends, Kay's abortion. The one thing he couldn't control when Kay tells him, Michael doesn't just feel betrayed, he feels exposed. For the first time, someone made a decision he couldn't predict, couldn't stop. And that terrifies him more than enemies ever did, because Michael must control everything, or he feels powerless. Kay's confession doesn't just break Michael's heart, it hardens it, because in that moment, Michael realizes something he cannot tolerate. He is losing control of the people closest to him. And when Michael feels control slipping at home, he tightens it everywhere else. Havana. The thought that never leaves him in Havana, surrounded by music, celebration, and partners smiling at him. Michael is not celebrating. He is watching, listening, calculating, because Michael trusts patterns more than people. And something about Hyman Roth doesn't fit the pattern. Roth talks about partnership, but moves like a man buying time. Inside Michael's mind, if Roth truly needed me, he wouldn't be so patient. Patience to Michael is a sign of a hidden move. The realization about the hit Michael replays, the attempt on his life back in Tahoe, the broken window, the shooters, the timing, and a thought keeps returning. Only someone very close knew where I would be, not an enemy, a partner. And then another thought. Roth didn't look surprised when I told him. That's when Michael knows. Not suspects. Knows. Hyman Roth tried to have him killed. Why Michael says nothing. Most men would confront Roth. Michael does the opposite. He becomes calmer, kinder, more agreeable. Because, in Michael's mind, the man who thinks he fooled you is easier to destroy. So Michael waits and watches. The airport, the final confirmation. When Roth feigns illness and delays, Michael sees it clearly. A man trying to stay alive long enough to escape consequences. And Michael thinks he's afraid now, which means Michael was right. What this does to Michael's thinking, this confirms the belief that has been growing in him for years. Trust is a weakness I can no longer afford. Not with partners, not with family, not with anyone. And this belief is what seals Fredo's fate, because if Roth could reach him through his own brother, then Fredo is no longer just family. He is a security risk. The quiet decision Michael never decides to kill Fredo in anger. He decides after understanding Roth, after realizing how betrayal travels silently through the people you love. And in Michael's mind, removing Fredo is the same as removing Roth, a loose end, a threat, something that must be handled. The final image, the cost Michael never calculated sitting alone at Lake Tahoe. No laughter, no warmth, no family. Michael won. He eliminated every threat and created a world where no one is left to threaten him or love him. Michael Corleone never thought he was evil. He thought he was necessary, a man doing what had to be done to hold everything together. But the tighter he held on to power, the more everything human slipped through his fingers. And that's the part of the story Hollywood never put in the movie. If you're enjoying these deep dives into classic characters and we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, hit subscribe and join us for the next one on the Rant. Final line.